Suppose I want to send funds from my wallet. So here's an example transaction that I might want to issue. So in this case, what I'm doing is here, my wallet has 1 ETH, as we said. And then what I want to do is I want to send a transaction to this particular Ethereum address. And the amount of money I want to send is 0.9 Ether. Okay, so that's what I'm asking MetaMask to do. And the question is, what happens once we press the send button and the funds actually are supposed to be sent out? What does the wallet actually do? Well, what the wallet software will do, it will go ahead and create a transaction, and in this case, an Ethereum transaction, of the format that we saw before. Basically, it says, I want to send 0.9 Ether from my address to the address specified over here. And I'm going to sign this transaction. Yeah, it's going to use the secret signing key that's stored on my client to sign that transaction that authorizes the transfer of the funds. Okay, so remember, the signature can only be generated by someone who has the secret key. The signature itself is just a 64-byte string. Okay, so now that we have a valid transaction with a valid signature, the wallet will go ahead and send the transaction to the Ethereum network. Okay, so MetaMask will basically talk to the MetaMask backend system. The backend system will go ahead and transmit this transaction to the entire Ethereum network. Now, what happens on the Ethereum network? Well, basically, a miner is going to go and, remember, miners are the ones who write data to the blockchain. The miner will validate the transaction as valid. In other words, there are at least 0.9 ethers associated with that address. The signature is valid, and so on and so forth. And if the transaction is valid, the miner will go ahead and include the transaction inside of one particular block. And then it will go ahead and broadcast the block to the Ethereum network. Once the network accepts the block, basically the block is added to the blockchain and the transaction is recorded and can never be removed. Yeah, so this transaction is recorded on the blockchain. There's now a specific transaction says 0.9 ETH was transferred from this address to that address. And as we said, the persistence property means that transaction can never be removed from the blockchain. That's the idea, okay? So that's how we use wallets to send funds from one address to another. Okay, now the interesting thing is there are lots of tools that will help you look on the blockchain and see the status of different addresses. Remember, everything on the blockchain is public. Not only is it public, it's replicated across lots and lots and lots of individuals. So in particular, we can look, there's a tool called Etherscan. And again, I encourage you to go and just search for this tool. It's a beautiful website, very, very easy to use. And then you can explore different addresses on the Ethereum blockchain. So in this particular case, we're looking at this address, and you can see that currently this address has this many Ether associated with it. So 95 Ether. Etherscan is kind enough to actually tell you how much that's worth in dollars. And it tells you that address actually processed, there were 35,000 transactions where this address was involved. Okay, so funds being transferred to it and funds being transferred from it. All right, so you can see that exactly what transactions were done. And in particular, if you look at the transaction, the 0.9 Ether that we sent on the previous slide, you can wait a few seconds and then you'll see it on Etherscan. You'll see that the transaction was actually recorded on the blockchain, which meant that we actually sent 0.9 Ether from our address to somebody else's address. Yeah, so this is fairly easy to use. I kind of encourage you to go try play with it yourself, just so that you see that you're comfortable in sending. You can send $1 from one address to another, so you can see how this works. So now we understand how to send funds from a particular address. The question is, how did the funds get into that address in the first place? How did the 1 Ether get into our wallet to begin with? Okay, so how do we transfer funds into our wallet? Well, again, we follow 3 steps. The first step is we go and create an account with one of the crypto exchanges. So there are lots and lots and lots of crypto exchanges out there. I wrote a couple of well-known ones, Coinbase, Kraken, Bitfinex, but there are many, many, many crypto exchanges out there. Now, what do exchanges do? By the way, it's kind of interesting. Coinbase is very limited in the number of Bitcoin, in the number of currencies that it will actually manipulate. So, for example, Coinbase agrees to only purchase Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ether, or Litecoin coins for you. They're very restrictive in who they can operate with, so they only operate with the largest blockchains out there. But other exchanges will operate with a large number of blockchains. So if you want to buy crypto assets outside of this set of four, you can go to other exchanges to do it. So you open an account with one of those exchanges. Step number two is you use your fiat currency, dollars, yens, whatever, euros, whatever fiat currency you have. You send that to the exchange, and the exchange buys funds buys crypto assets on your behalf. So it will give you crypto assets in exchange for the fiat currency. And then step number three is you can either keep the currency you just bought at the exchange, or you can send that currency to your own local wallet. Yeah, so the wallet that we just saw before, you can basically have those funds transferred to the address that you created, and then the secret key, like I said, is held on your machine, and no one can take those funds away from you unless you actually sign a transaction using the secret key. Okay, so that's how you deposit funds into the wallet. So now we understand how funds are deposited. We understand how to send funds to a different address. I should say, by the way, if you want to convert cryptocurrencies back to fiat currency, you can use the exchange to do that as well. You would send funds, you would send the cryptocurrencies to an address provided by the exchange, and the exchange will credit your account with the corresponding amount of fiat currency. So you can translate back and forth. You can send funds between addresses. You can even send funds between blockchains. Yeah, there might be different blockchains, like you want to send funds from the Bitcoin blockchain to the Ethereum blockchain. All that is supported by all these, by this ecosystem that's evolved.